Hey BC, this is Luke with Hot Wax and Cool Vinyl. Welcome back. Unless this is the first time you're viewing my channel, then as always, simply welcome. Okay, today, Sunday, August 29th. Another weekend, another hurricane. Ida is making landfall as I'm recording this in Louisiana. So if you are in its path, you have our prayers and well wishes. Stay put. By the time you see this, obviously, it will have long since passed, but I'm hoping that everyone stays safe and sound. We actually had Henri last week. We got very, very fortunate. We were supposed to hit on Sunday. It jogged further east than the expected storm, so it missed Long Island. It did, however, make landfall in westerly Rhode Island. So I know I've got some friends in Rhode Island. Hopefully you guys are all safe. Rob up in Boston, I think you guys didn't get much in way of heavy winds. You did get some rain. Hopefully everyone is safe. Let's put it that way. Okay, so with regards to the records, I have some more of the albums that I want to show that I purchased as the in the early spring and throughout just today, actually. We're going to start with themes from horror movies. I ran across this at a yard sale, and honest to God, I couldn't pass it up. I haven't played it yet, but it doesn't really matter. Just the cover is why I bought it, obviously. I don't know about you guys, but I saw This Island Earth right here about 7 times as a kid. I loved it. Also saw Tarantula just the one time. I guess I was like 8 years old. Scared the hell out of me. Never wanted to see it again. A little bit of arachnophobia, I guess, but man, it scared the hell out of me. The Creatures Walk Among Us, never saw it. The Deadly Mantis, the name's familiar. I don't recall if I saw it or not. House of Dracula, never did see it. And then, of course, you have the House of Frankenstein and Revenge of the Creature down there. So this was a purchase just from the sheer cover work. It's just really, it's just so cool. I'm going to clean it up as best I can and then wind up framing it. This is from Coral Records. The condition of the record actually isn't bad, but it really didn't matter because, I mean, I may spin it just on a lark, but it was more about the cover than the actual record itself, at least on this one. So that was a purchase. I picked this up, I think it was at a yard sale or an estate sale, one of the two, but I just stumbled across it. It was just too cool to pass, so I grabbed that. Next up, this I bought in Pittsburgh, Surfer Blood. It took me a couple of minutes to realize that was a great white, and you know, we fish for shit like this out here, but took me a few minutes to figure that it was a great white. This is on red vinyl. I think I said a bad word a minute ago. I do apologize. I've spun it a few times. I bought it because I was talking to the person selling this thing, and we just got into a conversation on music, and it was just like, oh yeah, this is like contemporary surf rock. So I'm like, wow, you know what? That's cool enough. Let me grab it. Not really surf rock, at least not the way I envision it, but still in all, pretty solid record. You know, if you get a run across it, grab it, listen to it. If you like rock, you know, it's kind of, yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. But the cover's pretty cool. Moving on to some female jazz vocalists. Now, The Late Show with Dakota Stanton, or The Late Late Show. I really didn't know much about Dakota Stanton, so I was a blind buy, you know, but again, when I make blind buys, generally speaking, they're at yard sales, so it's you know, a couple of $2-3, nothing crazy. But this actually is really, she's got a great voice, and the album is on Capitol Rainbow label. I don't take it up because it's not really, it doesn't really necessitate being pulled out and shown in that fashion. But nonetheless, cover's in good condition. It's a duophonic press, and gotta like it. I mean, I love female jazz vocalists anyway. They just, to me, it just has such a wonderful, pleasant sound to it. It's just a sound of days gone past. I guess romanticizing the days of my parents' youth more than mine, because my youth consisted of punk rock in the 70s. But in listening to my parents and my uncles and my aunts and all those people, all the grown-ups who I was around at the time, they romanticize very much like a lot of my today contemporaries romanticize about the 70s and stuff. We kind of tend to forget all the bad stuff. We're just kind of like, oh man, the 70s were great, and when I was a kid, we would, well, believe me, they weren't all glorious times. But my folks did the same thing, and you know, it's when you listen to this, you kind of get transported back to that smoky-filled jazz club on the Lower East Side. You know, where you got the three guys, the trio playing, and you got the vocalist singing, and you know, everyone's drinking a scotch on the rocks, and they're smoking non-filtered Camels. You know what I mean? That's kind of the vibe I get, because that's what I remember. So, Dakota Stanton, female jazz vocalist. Now, on to today. Blind Faith. This is the 69 Terahertz pressing. Picked this up today at a flea market in Up Island in Belmore. I have the Blind Faith. I did not have the 69 pressing. This is obviously the cover that was recalled and then later subsequently put. The record is okay. You know, I do have this copy of. I do have the Blind Faith, the second release, but I couldn't pass this up. He was asking $10 for the cover. Basically you're buying the cover. The album plays a couple of pops, but it plays. You know, it. I gave it a cleaning. I'll probably give it another cleaning to see if I can get a few of those pops out. A few of the last pops. But I mean, it plays better than... It plays VG minus, you know. But the cover is a solid VG plus. And I mean, it's got a name written up in the upper corner here. But other than that, it's solid. The spine's tight. Corner's a little soft, but I mean, it's intact. The seams are there. And so, I mean, you know, and it was very reasonable. I mean, he knew what he had. But he was asking $10, so I mean, I thought it was a reasonable price for an album that was missing in my collection. Or for the cover, this particular version of the album that was missing in my collection. So I bought that again, the Terahertz pressing, Blind Faith, and then I have the last of the records I want to show today, which was on my want list. I don't know how I didn't have it, but it's been on my want list for a while. I just don't generally run across it at yard sales and things of that nature, and I never think to look it up on eBay, because I'm usually focusing on my more harder to find records from my want list. But nothing fancy. Leonard Skinner. Now this is an interesting pressing because this is 1980s repress. But if you look at the cover, MCA basically just recycled the 1975 covers. If you look here, the cat number on that is the 1975 number, and then they simply gold stamped the MCA, 1616 on the upper corner. So this was an interesting purchase today. A, it was missing and it was on my want list, and B, of the two 1980s pressing, this is the older of the two. There's no barcode. And there's no barcode because why? Well, they simply recycle the jackets from 1975, and I dropped the jacket. They recycled the jackets from the 75 press of Nothing Fancy. Again, anytime you get your hands on an album by everybody's favorite gym teacher at a reasonable price, you buy it just because they're so damn awesome. And I mean, I know everybody knows what I refer to when I say everyone's favorite gym teacher, but for the one or two people who probably don't, Mr. Finglish in Finland is probably the one that comes to mind. He probably knows it anyway, but just in case he doesn't, Leonard Skinner took their band name after their gym teacher from high school, whose name was Leonard Skinner. So they changed the spelling, but that's why anytime I speak about Skinner, I at some point or other refer to them as everyone's favorite gym teacher, just because that's force of habit and what I've been saying for years and years and years. So that is it for the purchases for this week, or the videos for this week anyway. Have a couple of more that I still would like to show. I'm still kind of debating on whether or not to do an in-depth on a few of the Blue Note jazz stuff. If you're into it and want to see some, I just leave me a comment, let me know. Just even if you don't, leave me a comment anyway. If you like the content of the channel, please subscribe. I will reciprocate in kind for your channel. And in the meantime, listen. Again, I'm doing this on a Sunday. Have a great Sunday. Or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Whatever day you're seeing it, have a great day. Have a great week. Again, this is the last weekend in August. School's starting this week. Kind of get back into the groove. In August, what I generally do is I'll take one day off from the week from work, so it gives me like a 4-day weekend for August. This is my last week of that, so I kind of bummed out, but I actually enjoy what I do for a living, so that's okay too. So in any case, have a great week, have a great Sunday, enjoy your day, enjoy your week. If you're in the South where the hurricane is hitting, Louisiana, Mississippi, any states that are going to be affected as it goes through, please, you have our thoughts and prayers, and I really hope that everyone is going to be safe and sound, and it will not be too catastrophic. Oddly enough, it is on the 16th anniversary of Katrina that this thing is hitting. Katrina was a Cat 3, this thing is made landfall as a Cat 4, so I mean, it's intense, so hopefully everyone is safe. In the meantime, have a great week, everyone. I'll speak to you next week. Cheers.